Everyone, we have arrived. We are here. Welcome to our goal setting and achieving seminar. Why do you need to be here? Well, you need to be here because you don't have a choice. Everything that you know to today has gotten you to where you are. This is one thing not only did I have to accept, everyone has to accept. The results we are getting today are right on plan, right on purpose. For the level of intelligence that we currently have. I came to this realization many years ago. The only difference is I never stopped studying. I never stopped working on me. But it's also that never stop studying, never stop working on me that has delivered the results that I'm living today. I am proof that people can change. I am proof that you can change. If I can change, I know you can change. And I changed through this study. I changed through this work. In this seminar, you're going to learn how to live a life by design. We're going to take you through the process of setting and achieving worthy goals. Why is the goal necessary for us? What is it that we're going to get out of a goal? And why do we need to continually set goals once we have arrived and accomplished the goals that we are at? In this seminar, you're going to learn that there's more inside of you than you ever knew before. If you have not clicked the link and you have not signed up, do it now. Do it now. We'll be running this seminar for the next 3 hours. Jump on, get involved. It's your life, and nobody can change you, only you. We'll be seeing you on the other side.
Good day, everyone. How's everyone doing? Glad you guys are here. Glad you guys are invested in yourselves. And we are kicking off our new year. New us, new opportunities. And the greatest thing about this is our opportunities that we create, we decide. We're going to get started. You want to get started on an intro?
Sure. As most of you guys know who I am, but those ones that don't, my name is Taha Habib, and I am a co-founder of I Am Mastermind, and Abraham is the founder. And I came to realize that we are very unique creatures. And when I found that out, I decided to share it with everyone and let everyone know that you are a creative being and you can create your life by design. And next question you're going to ask me is how? And through I Am Mastermind, we show you, walk you through the process of the uniqueness that you have. And you have all the tools that you are required to build the life that you want. You are not aware of it. In I Am Mastermind, we're going to help you become aware of it.
Yes, we've dedicated ourselves to helping people. This work that we're doing started off many years ago just as an idea. And the idea was to be able to help people around the world really understand who they are, their true abilities, and how to evolve who they are as human beings. And many years ago, I started off with a vision, and the vision was to build companies, build businesses, and in that process, help people develop themselves from within, give people opportunities, and also really master the keys to success in this process that we call life, in this process that we call the Institute of the Mind. I knew that we would be working with people because I was in the business of creating businesses. I knew that we would be surrounded with people. And I knew that there was always people, there's always somebody out there that really wanted to achieve and be more, to have more, to become more. And I knew I had changed. I knew I had developed myself. I knew that I came from I wouldn't say there's different levels of poverty, but I knew I was wanting. I knew as a child I would see things that I desired, and I saw limitations in my environment, and I always wanted more. And through life and the wanting more and the seeking more, that was really a spiritual thing. And the more I understood my spiritual awareness, my spiritual consciousness, I started to really understand that we're really not divided from anything. We divide ourselves with our level of awareness and our consciousness. And in developing myself, I was studying a bunch of old books, a bunch of old material, and also I was being guided. I was being guided by an inner awareness, a higher awareness. And because of that higher awareness, I picked certain books. I read certain information. I looked for certain symbols that are left around the world, in the beginning of what man normally calls time, as far as they can go. And I was always researching, trying to understand my purpose in life. And because I was looking for my purpose in life, I found it. I could say that. And in that, I started to grow. I started to think things, do things. My intelligence was changing. My level of awareness was changing. The things that I was doing, I was expressing a higher sense of intelligence. I was getting ideas that nobody would get. I was doing things that were uncommon. I was doing things that were uncommon at common hours. And therefore, I was receiving uncommon results. And in that process, I wanted to help people. I was growing. I was having wealth, income, and I wanted to help other people change, but I noticed they would get stuck. I noticed I was stuck at one time. But I didn't really have the way to communicate at that time. And I was looking for maybe a study guide or somebody that somebody had to have something, should have accumulated all this knowledge over the years, and something that's practical. And sure enough, I always say there are no accidents. I received a phone call from some businessmen. They introduced me to Bob Proctor. When I saw his information, I knew he knew what he was talking about. Immediately, I took a flight. I went down to go see him. Went to go see the material that he had, and sure enough, he was studying the same material. He had years. He's gone now. He left last year. He's off to another place. But he was the oldest in the industry at the time, personal development, and he had studied with some of the top men in their field and their time. And so he had 60 plus years of researching himself, plus the years of knowledge of the men before him and the more men before him. So immediately I became a consultant, and I started to learn how to teach this information so that I could bring it back to my family, friends, community, business partners, associates, and the people, the future that was coming. And I had a vision of this Institute of the Mind. The Institute of the Mind was actually a part of the vision that I had prior to all of this. When I received the vision of building companies, that was in 2010. And at that time, I had no awareness of how to build a company, how to start a company. I had no awareness of how to do any of the things that I've done, none. So I can clearly tell you from here, from where I stand, that I started from scratch. I started with a negative $5,000, and I started my first company with that. And I went from a negative $5,000 to earning millions of dollars, reinvesting them in companies, reinvesting the money back in people to figure out, and really my seeking is mastering the ability to teach other people this. I've spent millions of dollars, I can literally say that right now. I have spent millions of dollars in trying to really button down, perfecting how to take somebody through the process of mastering their mind, how to go beyond. And we do that through business, we do that through the teachings, and we're doing it here. Today, as we stand, is the past. We have arrived to a vision that I've been working on for many years. And I know that as we continue, there's a bigger picture in the way. There's a bigger picture. And it's going to be the success stories of other individuals and the people that we impact. This seminar is on goal setting, goal achieving. And we've done this, some of you have done it, some of you have done it last year. I would like to know what your goals are. I want to go ahead and start it off with taking the next 3 to 5 minutes on what it is that you want to accomplish by the year end. I want you to put down by December the 31st, 2023, I and your name, and what you will have acquired. What is it that you want? What is it that you desire? Whoever's on the call, you guys that are on Facebook, Instagram, I want you, as very beginning, before we start, you came here on purpose. What is your purpose? Why are you here? If your purpose is truly not on purpose, you're maybe chasing the wrong goal. Right? Zach, if you could play some music. Living on purpose. Doing things on purpose. What is it that you want? And I want you to think of 3 different things. As you're going through this process, you're going to think of 1, what you think is possible. 2, you will think maybe a little ahead of that. What you could have. What is maybe a little bit more aggressive thought. And then lastly, I want you to push. Push really beyond that. And what is it that you truly, truly want?
share what they want. We're not going to judge you, I promise.
I'll start.
Okay.
So my preference is to make things short and sweet. So I summarized it as to be a business partner, a developer, and a coach.
Good. Business partner, developer, and a coach. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah.
Check 1, 2. Okay, we're good. For me, I'm pretty clear on my goals for this year. First one is to maintain and sustain consistent growth in my business. That's through sales and profit. What that looks like is to be determined. And then my 15-year anniversary is next year. So I want to have my wedding fully planned and financed. And then have another house purchased here in Lubbock. A house, first one here, purchased. And then travel to 3 destinations this year. I travel pretty often, so that's always been a goal. And I want to take my kids to go visit the colleges that they are looking to attend. That's important. And then I want to be able to visit 2 trade shows and 3 life-transforming conferences. So that's important as well.
Good. Have you decided how much money you're going to need
For what?
to fulfill those wants?
I mean, so for the house, absolutely. And it's quite a lot because it depends on how I choose to purchase the house. But if I buy it outright, I don't want anything less than $500,000 just because I know the size that I'm going for. That's important.
Okay.
And then as far as my wedding goes, it's pretty, to me, very quaint and simple. So I for that, we're looking at between 25 to 30,000. And then as far as the consistent growth of my business, that's, like I said, to be determined just because of just a lot of other factors. I'm sure you understand. And then, yeah, I mean, those are only things that are financially driven. Everything else is pretty clear in my life as far as the finances, but the traveling piece is important just because I have to take my kids to the schools and I invest heavily into their futures. And it's important for me to show them their colleges and really to take the time.
Awesome. Who's next?
All right, by December 31st, 2023, this is a stretch goal for sure. I'm the owner of a $10 million lead generation specialty marketing agency that allows me to travel the world and work from anywhere in the world. I have the money and the time freedom to travel and help others through coaching, public speaking, and charitable efforts. I'm generating $200,000 per month in after-tax income. I'm providing massive value and receiving massive wealth.
Great. Who's going next?
So my
Go ahead, Veronica.
so my 2023 end year complete health restoration. Beginning in this class, I had some health issues, and at the end of the final 2022 year, I have gotten a lot of energy, and I've changed my eating lifestyle, and so it's just pure foods, pure organic foods most of the time, and it's been really great with that. So that has been one of my goals. And so this next year is complete health restoration and a lot more energy. So that was one of them. The other one is, of course, finalize on a business plan for my wellness center. And so I wanted to also incorporate coaching and part of just, trying to help people elevate, their personal development.
Awesome. Who's going next? Robert?
I'll go next. My number one goal is to, by the end of the year, I want to have a place that I can comfortably raise my dog and a place to bring my kids home to. Then second, I'd like to become an earning musician. Just it's my way of turning a gift I have into a side hustle, so to speak. And other goal is to become debt free and get my credit score back up. I incurred a lot of debt 5 years ago when my son was born unexpectedly. And so I had to take out a lot of loans and accrued a lot of credit card debt to pay for diapers and stuff. And my son was also special needs, so required a lot of medical visits, a lot of medical bills that racked up. But I've already paid off one of my credit cards in full, and then I'm like 90% to paying off everything I owe to the Arizona hospital. So I'm like almost there. And then my last one is career-wise, I'd like to become my own salesman instead of helping other people make sales. Just do the whole process myself.
Great. Awesome. Who's next? Where are you going, Joe?
Sir, by the end of this year, December 31st, 2023, my goal is to build a company that's going to generate $1 million a month sales. To build a company that is world-class, everyone in the industry want to be associated with, do business with. Also, with that, my self-development, to perfect my strategy, and to be able to share it with others, coach and mentor.
Awesome. Anyone else wants to go?
Me? May I?
Yes.
Sure.
For 2023, mostly I want to become somebody else instead of having more things, and work on myself more and add some skills and becoming the best communicator and learning business and trading and having my own company, trading company. And pretty much that's it. Just establish my business and buying a house. Thank you.
Awesome. Go ahead, Brianna.
Okay, so two of mine are too personal. I'm not going to share, but the financial goal is not that personal. And there's people in here that may need a lawyer or mediator. So when you hear this goal and you're like, oh yeah, I'll call her. So financial goal by the end of 2023, I want to have grossed $360,000 in my business. So, and it is a goal that I have not achieved before. So, because I know that some of these are like, I want to do $1 million a month and all this. I'm like, well, but $360,000 a year is something that I haven't done before. So yes, it is a challenge. So if anybody needs a lawyer or mediator, call me. But this really works because so a year ago, that was actually the number I was shooting for last year. And historically, like year after year after year, I would always make around like 144,000. And then this year, or 2022, was my first year to break over 200,000. So even setting a lot higher goal, rather than just doing the same thing every year, it's been huge. So
Awesome. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Where are you going?
One of my biggest goals by the end of 2023 is to have a $40,000 month. It's been a goal of mine that I set at the end of last year, so maybe like 3-4 months ago. But I mean, I've been working towards that consistently, and I've been seeing some good results, so I'm excited.
Okay. Anyone else?
My 2023 goal is personal development, not allowing my past self-image to define the person that I'm going to be. Constantly going to be changing, constantly going to be growing. It's something that needs to be tackled. Would like to finally do something with my LLC. It's selling essentially Nike shoes on the side after hours. I've had some good success with that. I would like to really build that up. Like to purchase 40 acres in Colorado, central Colorado, getting close to the goal. And by December 31st, I will have reached that goal.
Anyone else before we start?
Goals? What are they for? Very first thing, what are goals? Anyone?
to stretch you, to challenge you.
Cause you to stretch. Why would somebody want to stretch? Yeah. Yep. Can you grab the mic? Anybody that's talking, can you grab the mic? We have people on the online as well. That way they can.
To become the person that is achieving those goals or able to achieve those goals.
Yep. Who you're going to become.
I feel like they keep you focused on, they give you a purpose for each day.
Good.
It's like the reason you get out of bed in the morning is what I do now is going to give me one day closer to that end goal.
Good.
Desire, fuel to make you move.
Targets are good for the soul. Targets are good for the soul. Goals are not to get there, to grow. And when you set a goal, you have started the creative process in yourself. And as you begin to take on what it means to become that goal, that means you're going to stretch. You're going to learn more about yourself you didn't know before. And you're going to learn more about your infinite potential of what you have locked up inside of you. And as you work towards that goal, you begin to evolve. Evolve your consciousness, evolve your intelligence, and you begin to release more intelligence. Think about that. When you start to work towards something that you've never done before, you have to release more energy, and because you have to release more energy in that direction, you are going to advance decision making, and you're also going to release more ideas in the direction for that goal. And as you begin to work towards them, you begin to understand more about yourself that you didn't before. And then you start to break the beliefs and the barriers and the thoughts that were holding you back all this time. So targets are good for the soul. It purifies the soul. You're purifying the beliefs within yourself, from yourself, to yourself. That's the only thing that's been holding us back all this time. When we can really grasp the concept that, and you understand that all that a man is what's between his hat and his boots, or the woman, we really understand that there's no limitations that have been put on us, only the ones we put on ourselves. The only thing we could ever master was our mind. We're going to get started on understanding the mind. We're talking about an unseen thing. Mm-hmm. an unseen movement. So it's very important to understand how the mind works, how the body works, how consciousness works, and how our demonstrations in life are just the result of our level of intelligence at the moment. That's it. But that's what's defining you if you don't change it. That's what's defining us if we don't change it.
Mm-hmm. So before we start talking about the mind, Suruj online, he said, I want to become. It's about becoming. So I was having a conversation with you today, Donovan, about if this would have happened to me 3 years ago, things would have been different, right? And I said, 3 years ago, that wouldn't happen to me because 3 years ago, I wasn't this person I am today, right? Because everything that happened to us and we're experiencing and result that we're getting is according to who we are, not what we want. So this whole process that what he mentioned is about becoming. So if everyone said what they want, right? If you don't have what you want, that means you haven't become that person yet. It's very simple, because ultimately what you have is what you are programmed to have in your subconscious mind. So it's all about understanding the mind, understanding why we do the things we do, and how to turn our want, and how to manifest our want into our reality. Because our want is just an idea, it's energy, and that's in our head. And for us, as a transformer through the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, in order to bring that down to reality, you got to change certain things within to be able to see that. So it's all about internal work. So you guys are here, you're not here to see me. You're here for yourself, because you got to change something within to start changing outside. Like James Allen says, he says, we think in secret and it comes to pass. Life is but looking glass. That means what you see, what you are, what the inner conversation you have with you, and the things that you are, you're going to see it and it reflects in your reality. So it's very important to understand. It's good that you guys are here and working on yourself, or you're here for this seminar is about goal achieving and is about success, but that is inside of you. It is this seminar we're making aware, but it's internal work. What you do with this information we're giving you after you step outside this door matters. How am I applying what I understood in this seminar? Go ahead, Abraham.
Were you wanting to get into talking about a little bit of the goals, or go into the mind and then go back into the goals?
Yeah, we can talk about mind and then we'll get into goals.
Okay. Well, we're going to go over your goals and why it's important. I'm going to touch at the beginning of it. Every one of your goals needs to have a market value. It needs to have a number. Why does a goal need a number? Anyone?
It gives you a reference point. You're able to measure it.
It's measurable. And the universe does the only thing that it can do. It measures everything. Everything. There's not one thing that we can take from this world. We've got to pay for it. And if we take for it, we find ourselves getting in trouble. You've got to earn it. Everything in the physical world is earned. You have to pay for everything that's physical. So the very first thing when everybody set their goal, and I want y'all thinking about this as we go through the process, we're going to do the introduction on the mind and how it works. Everybody that set a goal, you must have a money goal, a monetary goal, because the money decides whether you can have what you desire. The money decides if you can have what you desire. If it's something physical, the money decides if you can acquire it. So whenever you're putting a goal on a business, or you want a business, you need to have that goal. Whether you're putting a goal or whatever it is, it needs to have a value, because from the value comes the ideas, and the ideas will be what you will act on. So we're going to get started on the mind and how it works. A lot of people do not understand the way the mind works. And because we don't understand how the mind works, we need an image. And here we're going to be talking about a movement, and it's unseen. And this movement that's unseen, nobody ever sees what's going on behind that individual's movement. But there's always something going on behind the movement. Always. We just see results. But that is a product of his level of awareness, his or her intelligence. And this is where we come up with what they call the stick person. The stick person was given to us by Dr. Thurman Fleet back in 1934. And he was in the healing arts, and he knew that doctors were normally prescribing medications that were band-aid problems. They were treating the results, but never the cause. They were treating the effects, but never the cause. But they knew that it was the mind was causing all the results themselves. But they really couldn't put their finger on the mind. And it was hard to describe what's going on, to understand what's going on. But they knew that the doctors that's prescribing something is treating everything under their head. So they're treating symptoms. They're just treating the body. The body is just a result of what the mind is doing. Now, he needed to be able to create a vision, an image to demonstrate consciousness, to demonstrate the way the mind works, and then the representation of the body and what happens after that. So here we've got two halves, which make the conscious mind, subconscious mind. Conscious mind's the top half, subconscious is the lower, and we have the bottom half is going to be the body. Conscious mind, subconscious mind, and then the body. Conscious mind is the thinking mind, your educated mind, your intellect. This is where you select ideas, you choose ideas, you can accept or reject, you can originate. Subconscious is your emotional mind. It cannot reject, it must accept. And it really cannot determine what's real or false. Now, when we understand conscious, subconscious mind, we're understanding the two parts, but in the center of those two parts is what we call the resonator. It is the centering principle of the whole thing, but you don't see it. See somebody light up and smile? Those are centering in themselves. They were thinking of an idea and they smiled. Everybody think of something that makes them happy. What's the very first thing that comes to your mind that makes you happy? What comes to your mind that makes you feel loved? Everybody's flashing images on the screen of the mind, and you can really tell whenever they really get emotionally involved with something that makes them feel loved. Right? Think about that. Anybody here? What makes you feel loved or loving someone else? Something that's very memorable. I saw the smile. What is it?
When someone holds my hand.
What does she do? She retrieved a file. You can go as far back as you can and remember where that came from.
Probably my dad holding my hand as a little girl.
Yeah. So later on, you feel loved and you get that feeling again when you do that again, right? So you're going to seek that over and over and over again. That's where we get here. In the subconscious mind is a filing cabinet, a file of years and years of memories. Memories. In this file, as we begin to understand this filing cabinet that we see here, we're understanding that there's files and files and files of information. Information. And I never want you to see that word again or listen to it in the same manner. It's information. Ideas, information. As you think, you re-inject the ideas, and then you are quite possibly reforming them over and over and over again. He said transforming, transducing. Now, I'm going to go before time. This right here, the conscious mind is totally not there. As a child is born from 0 to 5, his subconscious mind is just wide open. He cannot accept, she cannot reject. They do the only thing that they can do. They accept everything that's going on. What does a child do when they're born? They're just absorbing everything that's going around. They're perfect when they're little. Perfect. And everybody knows it. Oh, they want to get to the baby. They want to kiss the baby. They want to love the baby. Oh, it's so perfect. It's so perfect. What happens after the child's 10, 12, 13, 14? They're like, Well, whatever was going on from that 0 to 5, mom, dad, aunts, uncles, family, environment, culture was going right in. And so they take all that intelligence and they begin to think on their own. So the starting point was the intelligence of the environment, and that conditioning was the starting point. And if we don't upgrade that intelligence, this is what we use relatively for the rest of our lives to create our lives. Let's check this. If I ask for somebody to think of a dinosaur, cat, squirrel, TV, trampoline, each and every one of you are retrieving files from the filing cabinet, just like a register. And then it comes onto the screen of the mind. And as that comes to the screen of the mind, you feel the memory. You can see the image, and then you reason with the image, and then we put it right back. Now, if I asked you to build something with your hands, some of you may have recollection of that. Some of you say, oh, that's common sense. We could change out a battery in a car. Some of you say that's common sense. Some of you may not be common at all. Why? Who knows how to change out a battery in a car? Is that common for you guys? Why? Environmental conditioning is stored here. So now, if I were to teach y'all how to change a battery in a car, you would have new cells of recognition, and they would be stored in your hard drive now. But if you never learn it, you don't have it, nor can you do it, nor can you apply it, nor can you reason and understand what to do next. Why? Your intelligence doesn't stretch that far. That's it. So as we're starting to understand the conscious mind, subconscious mind thinks, but it's working from its intelligence. This is what so many people don't understand. Each individual in this room is working from their intelligence. People are not earning $50,000 a year because they can't earn more. They're earning $50,000 a year because that's all they know how to earn. The people that are earning $100,000 a year are not earning $100,000 because they can do more. They would love to earn more. But they're not doing any more because they don't know how to do any more. So when we start looking at limitations and then what we do and how we operate in life, the only thing that we ever do is go back to our frame of mind. The individual that's earning $100,000 a year is earning $100,000 a year because he doesn't know how to earn that in a month. But how many people do you see actually setting a goal to go to learn to do more? Is there anyone in here that set out to earn $1 million in a month when they were 18 years old, 17, 16? Why? Anybody? Why wouldn't we do that? There you go. Why wouldn't we think it's possible? Let me ask another question. How many of you even played with the idea? Why would you play with the idea?
Because since I was 10 years old, I've watched you start multiple companies. I've sat and had conversations at 10 about what to do and what not to do and how to go about business.
How many times did you hear me having discussions and we're talking about millions of dollars in revenue?
All the time, literally 24/7.
Where'd the idea with you come in on $1 million?
Man, I was just somehow I always envisioned myself making that much. You know, I'd always assumed that, you know, I'd hit the lottery or just some project I was working on would hit. But then the reality of life set in, and I grew to find and just learning humility, I learned that it's not so easy. So
I want you to take that word reality, and we'll make a mental shift later. Reality for who?
I guess the reality I created for myself.
That. For who?
Me.
There we go. Now we're getting a better understanding.
Can I add something? So when I was 16 or 17, I had made the most money I've ever done in a month, ever, even still to this day. I had made $8,000 in a month. And how did I do that? Okay, so I wanted to help some of my friends. They couldn't afford to go to prom. So I started a business where I created, it was called Your Prom Girl Box, and it had a whole bunch of goodies. And so I had spent like $2,000 of my own money so I can invest. And I ended up making $8,000 from doing that.
We don't make money. We
Earn it
earn it. How did you earn it?
by creating a service,
There you go.
by seeing other people's needs and then creating something for others, not for myself.
By serving others and helping them hit what?
They needed like,
Their financial goals.
yeah, $300 to $500 so they could go to prom.
And then so you, by helping them strategize, you built the system, and then
And it literally came to me. I literally had one day to do it, one day. In order for like one day to come up with everything, find all the material and put everything together. And I had forgotten, I had put it off. And in that day, I felt bad because I was like, they're coming to me, these girls, there's like 3 or 4 of them. And I'm like, I was supposed to do this for them and I hadn't. And I felt so bad. I went to the washroom, I cried for a little bit, and then I like rinsed my face. I did, this is a true story. Rinsed my face and I said, no, you told them you were gonna do this, you gotta do it. So then I looked at myself in the mirror, I wiped off my face, and I said, how? You know how to do it. How? Ask the universe. And literally, 13 minutes later, everything, the idea, the information, what to call it, how to go about it, all came to me. I set up everything within that class period. I had my iPad, I would like set everything up, I created it, I had it printed, that within the next like 30 minutes, I gave it to them. I said, go and sell 30 of these, or at least 10 of them, and you will have the money that you need. And I bought everything that class period. Yep.
right here, I want everybody to clearly understand. The average individual is normally working off of this. And if we don't go beyond this, we're not tapping into an infinite possibilities, infinite intelligence. If we keep thinking from here, we keep receiving what this has. And guess where it came from? Our environment. So everybody's subconscious was programmed around from the environment, from their 0 to 5, 0 to 7, and whatever they were talking about, whatever they were doing, whatever they were going through, was all subjective and put right in here. The little child does the only thing they can do. I did the only thing that I could do. My parents did the same thing. Their parents' parents did the same thing. Their parents' parents did the same thing. We're all the same. We do the only thing that we can do when we arrive. We accept. No ability to reject. And then we do with the only thing that we can do. We begin to think like them. We begin to talk like them. We begin to walk like them. We begin to do everything as they do because there was nothing there yet. But also they say that there's a spiritual intelligence that arrived, and it was you. And this is what we're going to go through of what the mind is and how it works. I know that everybody has a divine spark within, and that divine spark is always seeking expression to and through you. But somewhere along the way, there is always something that's trying to take you off track. There's something always pulling you back. Everybody's felt it. Everybody's gone through it. Everybody's gone a little bit further and then they get stuck. Everybody's feel like they're going to break out and they're going to make a breakthrough and they get pulled back in. And this is where we're going to be talking about why this is so important in the conscious subconscious mind, because we're actually understanding the way the mind works.